12th Indo-Japan Annual Summit. Now we can see the visuals of the Japanese Prime Minister car arriving, and Prime Minister Modi standing there to personally receive the Japanese Prime Minister and the First Lady of Japan. We can see Prime Minister Shinzo Abe alight from the vehicle, as well as Akio Abe arriving at the mosque. They're wearing the same Indian attire, the khadi attire that they were wearing at the roadshow. This was not the attire that they wore from Japan. In fact, when they alighted from the aircraft, they were in business suits, and later they changed at the airport itself and participated in the roadshow. The three dignitaries seated at the forecourt of Siddhi Sayyid Nijali. We can see they've taken their shoes off and they're walking inside the mosque, the Siddhi Sayyid Mosque. This mosque of Siddhi Sayyid was built in 1572 AD by Abyssin, the Prime Minister explaining the intricate architecture, and both his guests in attendance. As I was saying, this mosque was built in 1572 AD by an Abyssin known as Siddhi Sayyid. He came from Habsha in Ethiopia via Yemen to Gujarat, and he later served the Sultan Nasiruddin Muhammad III. This lattice work is the speciality of this mosque. The three dignitaries posing for a photograph. This mosque is renowned worldwide for its delicately carved and artistic stone screens, or the jalis that I was talking about, that you can see right above on the top. It serves, of course, for ventilation, but add to the beauty. There's a tree of life which has come on these carvings, which has come to signify Ahmedabad. Well, this mosque was used as a government office during the British rule. In 1880, paper cutouts of our carved screens were taken and made of these mosques to they were made in wooden models and made for museums in London and New York. Today, these jalis depict the tree of life and have become a distinguished symbol of the city. In fact, this mosque right adjacent to the mosque is the grave of Siddhi Sayyid. It's situated within the compound of the mosque. So about a 450-year-old building, which is a heritage building, and Prime Minister Abe, Prime Minister Modi, and the First Lady of Japan, Akio Abe, walking through the mosque. It's an actual mosque. It's a protected monument. It's a heritage monument, but it is also where namaz takes place. The two prime ministers waving at the local residents. This is part of old Ahmedabad, the walled city of Ahmedabad, which is really a 9 square kilometer area, walled. As you know, Ahmedabad is a 600-year-old city with a lot of protected monuments, with 22,000, more than 22,000 properties, including houses where people still live today, which have been declared heritage buildings. There are 36 protected monuments in Ahmedabad. So right now we can see the Prime Minister inside the mosque. When you enter the mosque, the shoes are taken off as a mark of respect. The dignitaries wearing the shoes back. The two prime ministers talking amongst themselves. Prime Minister Modi would be talking about the history and the architecture of this mosque. Now we can see the Prime Minister and his guests leave the mosque. They moved out of the Siddi Sayyid Nijali Mosque. They're crossing the street to go down to the house of MG, which is again a heritage property. There are people gathered along the road where this road has been blocked, but the excitement and the euphoria in people is so much. They're shouting, and the two prime ministers waving at them and walking just across the road to the house of MG, where the Agashiye restaurant is there. Agash means terrace in Gujarati. It's a heritage property that was built about 120 years ago by a wealthy businessman of the area who was known as Nagar State popularly in Ahmedabad. He was a philanthropist as well, and this used to be his house. His descendants have now converted it into a heritage hotel cum restaurant. There are a few rooms there, and the Prime Minister taking his guests